All right, Josh, we are on episode 120. So the greatest NHL player to wear number 20 per the Hockey Writers' greatest player to wear each number article is Luc Robitaille. Runners up were Bob Pulford, Gary Suter, and Ryan Suter. I always want to say Sutter.
It's hard to get the Suter and Sutters not mixed up. I want to say it was maybe last week or the week before when we were doing Jeremy and I lead the YouTube show for the PWCC Weekly.
Yeah.
He had called Luc Robitaille maybe the most underrated hockey player of all time.
Could be.
Is that something that you might agree with?
Could be. Might be one of the biggest steals all time for sure for the draft. What was I thinking? Was Eddie Belfour number 20? I could have swore Belfour at one point was 20. Am I just making that up?
Maybe. I don't know.
Who knows? I'll look it up after the show.
Convince me.
That very good persuasive argument by myself.
Yeah.
All right, so Luc Robitaille, left winger from Montreal, Quebec. Robitaille was the 171st overall draft pick in the 1984 entry draft by the Los Angeles Kings. Now, the reason Robitaille was drafted so low was the fact that he was a very poor skater, and teams were worried he wouldn't be able to keep up in the NHL. And this is a fact Robitaille does not dispute. He totally said he was a bad skater, and it's something that he had to live with basically. And he took power skating lessons. I was reading like almost his whole career to try to get better. It's one part of his game that wasn't, at that elite level, but I think he did okay in the NHL.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
So when somebody says a player is a poor skater, does that mean they're slow or bad on their edges?
It could be everything. It could be slow. It could mean even transitions left to right, or stops and starts are slow. Like if you look at McDavid, like I always think of him as like a guy that if you want to see what an elite skater looks like, look at him. Like he can pull away when he's skating, and even when he's doing, they call them linear crossovers. It's the big new thing when they're actually kind of skating forward, but they're actually doing crossovers back and forth, and you actually get more speed that way. So it's just it can mean a lot of things, but Robitaille was not very good at it. We'll just say that.
Okay.
All right. Robitaille played in 1,431 regular season NHL games over. Now I put 19 season career. Josh, you look that up. I thought it might be 17. I think I might have screwed up there.
Okay. Well, it would be a first try because
that 19 perfect. Didn't seem right, but maybe I do have it right. I can probably count the next segment when I talk about where he played. Robitaille began his career playing 8 seasons with the LA Kings. He then played 1 season with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Next, he played 2 seasons with the New York Rangers. Then it was back to the LA Kings for another 4 seasons. After that, he played 2 seasons with the Red Wings before ending his career with 2 seasons with the LA Kings again for his 3rd stint with them. The Kings and Robitaille just could not quit each other, it seems. But it's where he's at home. It's where he felt most comfortable. So I'm glad he actually got to play there a majority of his career. So, Josh, do we have an answer on 17 or 19?
I have a question and an answer. Why would you doubt yourself, Troy? It's 19 seasons.
Okay, maybe it was made the playoffs 17. We'll see when we get to the playoff section. I don't know. I've doubted myself. I don't know what's going on. After that card show, I'm all Fritz, all scatterbrained. All right, for his awards and accomplishments, he is a Hall of Famer, 1-time Stanley Cup winner, Calder Trophy winner in 1986-87. Obviously, won the Calder. He made the 86-87 All-Rookie team. 5-time NHL First All-Star Team selection. 3-time NHL Second All-Star Team selection. 8-time NHL All-Star Game selection. Named one of the 100 greatest NHL players by NHL.com. Ranked number 40 in the Athletics' top NHL players in the post-expansion era. His number 20 is retired by the LA Kings. I didn't put this in there, but I think I remember it. I think he also got a statue in front of the Kings arena.
Really?
I believe him and Gretzky might be the only ones that have that.
I have to break in, and sorry if you're listening and not watching on YouTube, but so in the picture you're showing, it's got to be early 90s where he's in the Kings jersey, and it's when they had like a blue and almost like a royal blue and
I this has to be. I would guess this is later. This might be like with his final 2 seasons with the Kings. I would think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it looks like kind of because when he started, I want to say the Kings were in those purple, yellow things.
Purple, yeah.
Or maybe they're in the blacks. I can't remember. But this one I feel like is like an alternate third jersey or something.
Oh, okay. Because it feels like the Kings have had more color palettes than any other team in NHL history.
Yeah. Yeah. And plus, I'm trying to look. He looks kind of oldish, but
yeah, he looks old. You're right. I think you're right.
I really, I've in the past I've been able to find really good pictures. There weren't that many really cool pictures of Robitaille in my 3 minutes of searching.
Is it Hockey Illuminati? That
it could be someone's out there. All right. For his career, Robitaille had 668 goals, which puts him 13th all time. 726 assists, which is 54th all time, for 1,394 points, which is 24th all time. And I'm just going to say something on NHL.com. When you go to their records site, it bugs me to no end that if a person's tied with someone, they don't put, like, it should be like 12, and then the next person should almost be a blank for the rank or 12th, but they'll put them 13th. It just annoys me that they do that. It's not how you do rankings.
Thank you for bringing this up. So NHL.com, they launched a new website like a few weeks ago.
Oh, it's broken. Everything's broken. The top 100 player things are all broken.
But even if you go into a particular player's stats and like you go to their like career stats, they don't total anymore.
Oops.
Let's you got some like kid in there who's so excited to add like his like new design flashes and takes away all the utility of the website.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So not to distract from Luke Robitaille, but that was bugging me. So Robitaille here's where I screwed up. Robitaille, I said, made the playoffs in 15 of his 17 NHL seasons. I think it's 17 out of 19. Compiling 58 goals, 69 assists for 127 points in 159 NHL playoff games played. Robitaille began his career by having 8 straight seasons of 84 or more points. Robitaille would also rack up 4 seasons of 100 or more points. In addition, in his first 8 seasons, Robitaille never scored less than 44 goals per season.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a fantastic stat. Again, remember, this was a high-scoring era, but still, that's a lot of goals. In your first 8 seasons, to never get less than 44 in a season is pretty crazy.
Is there a general consensus as to, and I've never heard this, why that era had so many goals scored and points?
I don't know if it's partly due to the players, the goaltending, the training. I don't know.
The rules,
puck.
maybe.
I mean, I know we've had certain areas like the dead puck era. You have rules, but was it the late 90s, like the clutch and grab era, basically forced you out of the game, all that stuff. I don't think was as prevalent back when he started, but I could be wrong. I know there's definitely different eras, and I'm sure there's been studies on why scoring was up so much in this kind of era.
Hockey Illuminati
determining what's going on. Best season of his NHL career from a point standpoint was his 1992-93 season, where Robitaille had 63 goals, 62 assists for 125 points in 84 games played. All right, Josh. Robitaille is one of the greatest NHL players to ever play and a Kings legend. If you want to know why we're laughing and you're just listening to audio, I did find a fantastic picture of Robitaille that's on the YouTube. And I think it was after he retired. It's probably from an alumni game or something. But it's fantastic. So here's the deal. So obviously Kings legend, great player. What's kind of sad for me when I think about Robitaille is that when he was playing, I don't think I rarely got to ever see him play, being the majority of his careers with the Kings. It was dang near impossible to watch a Kings game in Minnesota.
We couldn't watch a North Stars game.
Yeah, we couldn't watch our own team.
A Kings game.
Yeah, especially during his first 8 seasons in the league when he's basically in beast mode. He's 2 hours behind. NHL's kind of a way afterthought, even though we're supposed to be the state of hockey. So it's just really hard to watch Kings games. And I don't remember watching a lot of Robitaille during those first 8 seasons. He was great his whole career, but it was really hard to see a game of the Kings. When coming into the league, and I've kind of mentioned this, Robitaille was knocked for his unimpressive skating and his questionable toughness. However, the more you read about him and you read interviews, what teams kind of overlooked with him And what showed up during his career was his incredible hockey intelligence, his drive, and his obsession with putting the puck in the net, which is kind of just, he knew he wasn't the greatest skater, so he had to focus all his energy on being a goal scorer, being a playmaker, doing the things he could do well, instead of just focusing on the one thing he was terrible at, which was skating. Robitaille also had one of the best one-timers in hockey. He had a knack of being able to create space to give himself that extra split second to get his shot off. In reading Robitaille's story, and he has said this himself, he owes his career to one man, and he was a part-time scout, and his name was Alex Smart. Unfortunately, he's passed away, but Alex Smart was the one person who actually believed in Robitaille and was in the ear of the Kings for about 2 to 3 years, even up to the second they drafted him, to telling them to draft Robitaille because he was going to be special. And it still took him to whatever it was, the 171st pick or whatever. 109, I can't remember what I said.
I wonder how many part-time scouts there are.
I think this was back in the day. So, like, I know part-time scouts were a big thing. They're still pretty big, I think, in baseball. But I think the NHL has went to a little more full-time stuff. And now you have European scouts, which was not around for a long time. And you have all these, it's more full-time scouts now, I think. But this Alex Smart, he was part-time scout, and then he worked full-time at a tire company for 40 years. So it's just, it's kind of crazy. I think they've it's more streamlined now.
Makes me think of that Flight of the Conchords song, where you're so pretty you could be a part-time model. Go look that up on YouTube, anyone, if you've never seen it. It's really funny.
Yeah, even in college, my college baseball coach was a part-time scout for the Rangers. So,
really?
And I think baseball is kind of crazy when they go in the.
He didn't recommend you, or what?
No. Nope. All right, Wayne Gretzky would state, "There's nobody who wanted to score more desperately than Luc Robitaille. He made himself a Hall of Famer." So high praise from the great one. Yeah. After his playing career in 2006, Robitaille became the president of the Omaha Lancers of the USHL. Side note, I have been to Omaha Lancer games. I don't know if they still play there, but they played at a rink called Exarban, which is Nebraska backwards, and it was fantastic. They would have, if I remember right, it was every time the Lancers scored, it was like 25-cent beer. So the Lancers would score, and the whole crowd would like run up and try to get as much beer as they could, and then get back to their seats. It was crazy. Wow. Yeah, Lancer games were fun. Then on May 25th, 2007, Robitaille was named the Kings President of Business Operations and also the Kings Alternate Governor. I always want to say alternator there, but alternate governor. On April 10th, 2017, Robitaille was named President of the LA Kings. Since joining the Kings in a management role, the team has won 2 Stanley Cups in 2011-12 and 2013 and 14. So he has 1 cup as a player with the Red Wings, 2 cups with the Kings in management. So that's kind of our overview. Fun, interesting facts, Josh. Robitaille is currently second all-time for goals, assists, and points by a left winger in NHL history.
Why am I blanking on who's ahead of him?
Ovechkin would be goals. I think Busek is one. If I remember right. I didn't write who's first on all of them, but I know Ovi, I think, is for goals. Robitaille does hold the record for most points in a single season by a left winger in NHL history. Robitaille.
Well, until this year with Taylor Hall playing with Connor Bedard.
Oh, there you go. Yes, no kidding. Robitaille, who was the 171st draft pick, and former teammate Dave Taylor, who was the 210th overall draft pick, are the lowest NHL draft picks to have recorded 1,000 career points. I love that stat.
Wow, that's awesome.
A fun one. During the 1984 NHL entry draft, the Kings drafted future Baseball Hall of Famer Tom Glavine in the 4th round, over 100 spots before Luc Robitaille.
I didn't know Tom Glavine was a hockey player.
Yeah,
did you?
Yep, I did. Oh, yeah.
Is he Canadian?
I think so. I think he was a really good hockey player. All right, Josh, here is a line in his NHL 100 bio, and I want your reaction. Robitaille was regarded as a prospect with not much more potential than a team mascot. Thank you, NHL, in the bio. That's pretty cold-hearted right there. But I guess it shows how far he actually came to be a great player in the NHL.
Definitionally a backhanded compliment there.
Yeah, yes.
But maybe if it's gritty or buoy, then an okay comparison.
Well, if you're deranged, I mean, he in this picture I've shown, he looks kind of deranged.
He does. He really does.
Robitaille scored his first NHL goal and NHL point in his first NHL game. And it happened on the same play when Marcel Dion scored his 1,600th point in the NHL.
So obviously Dion assisted.
Yes.
On Robitaille's first goal.
Yeah. Final one. Robitaille has had appearances in a pretty good amount of TV shows and movies. He has appeared in the TV show Bones, the TV show How I Met Your Mother. He has also appeared in the movie Sudden Death, which is a classic, if anyone remembers. I think is that the Jean-Claude Van Damme where they're at the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Igloo. I think that's the movie. I'll have to look that up too.
Can Luc Robitaille do the splits on two chairs like Jean-Claude Van Damme can do?
Yeah, maybe. He also appeared in the movie D2, The Mighty Ducks, and voiced himself in an episode of Phineas and Ferb. So Hollywood legend Luc Robitaille. He actually has he's got a pretty big in-depth IMDb page. So that kind of
no kidding, man.
All right, so that's Robitaille. His rookie card, 1987-88 OPG, number 42. PSA 10 has a pop of 126 with a gem rate of 7.5%. If you're looking at the YouTube video, you can see it on the screen. Last sale I could find on this card was on August 29th of this year for $781.31 US. And that was made via eBay and verified in Terapeak. Highest sale I could find, and this was very interesting to me. Highest sale I could find was on April 2nd of this year via PWCC for $930 US. I think number 2 and 3 were from 2021. I always just assume it's going to be this 2021 COVID one, but it was actually April of this year.
I have a really important question for you.
Yes. Yes, there's a Topps version. Is that what you want to know?
No.
Oh.
Just looking at the card where he's in the purple and gold, kind of Lakers colors, Kings jerseys. What do you prefer? Do you like the silver and black, or would you want them to go back to
purple and gold? I'm purple and gold all the way. I love the crown. I love that it's intricate. I love those jerseys.